might find yourself in throughout your drumming career that you inevitably work with a conductor or a musical director. And I've been lucky enough to work with a few, and they all have their own personal ways of conducting an orchestra, all of which are great, and all of which have made me feel really comfortable being under their guidance. Some of the stuff that I've done in the past, and still do. I do the Carols by Candlelight gig every year, and that's a big production event. It's like an orchestra in with a very big choir, a rhythm section, and also like a 13-piece sort of brass section as well. And it's all under the guidance of John Foreman. Now John has a great way of working where he runs a lot of things on click to get us going, give us our tempos, which is fabulous, and then the click will inevitably sort of drop out halfway through the song. But there's some moments there where we don't work with a click, and that's when we rely on John's tempo and conducting, and he has a great way of stipulating the time when it needs to move around, when it needs to pull back, when we need to play rails and things of that nature. So from a drummer's point of view, it's really, really important to basically you've got to have one eye on your chart and one eye on the conductor. So I know it sounds, well, how can you do that? Trust me, you can do it. And you have to. So you have this, there's a rail coming up on your chart, so you're kind of looking at the chart, but then you're looking across to the conductor, and he's railing it, and then we're back into tempo. So you get to know with certain conductors where their downbeat falls. Some conductors it's bang, smack on that, and some of them it's on an upbeat or somewhere in between. And that'll just come with experience. The more you do it, or more opportunity you get to play with conductors, you'll get an opportunity to develop that skill. And trust me, it's a skill. So there's been times where you think he's going to come down and hit the downbeat, and you've gone full pelt to hit the crash cymbal to mark the next section, and he might just pull back a fraction, and then you've already committed to it. So you've come in a little bit early. But then you learn that's you've got to really sort of watch the conductor. Fortunately enough, John's great at just really leading it, and he's really animated as far as where the tempo lies and where you've got to come back into playing the pattern or playing the groove. And there's another guy that I'd like to mention, a gentleman by the name of Ben Northey. He's the principal conductor for the MSO, and Ben's got this. Ben comes from a real, he comes from a pop jazz background, which when I get a chance to work with him, with the MSO, and they require a rhythm section, Ben's great because he understands what the rhythm section is supposed to do, and his main concern is to collate what we do with the orchestra, and his time is fantastic. He dictates it very, very well, and again, one eye on the conductor, one eye on your charts, and listening too. You got to listen to what's going on around you. But Ben's. And then he'll conduct a classical piece, some full-on piece, and it's just like, is this the same guy? And it's beautiful, and he's got a beautiful flow about him, which is great to watch. And the results come through in the orchestra. They really respond to that. And as far as being a rhythm section player under his sort of guidance, it's pretty easy. There've been instances where sometimes maybe the guidance hasn't been that great, and sometimes you do have to take maybe some sort of charge of the time, and make sure you state the time, just to help the conductor a little bit, and just to, you're not his enemy, and it's not the other way around either. It's like you're there to help each other. And there's been times where other conductors I've worked for have just said, "You count it in," and that's cool. I'm fine with that, and that's if he or she is comfortable doing that, that's fabulous. That means that they're trusting you to do that. I prefer that they don't, because there's a little bit more responsibility for the drummer. But if they're asking to do that, then you take that on board and do it. Burden the responsibility and just feel that pressure. Being in that moment of actually counting off a song, in front of an 80-piece orchestra in time. But that's a real extreme sort of case. That it's only happened to me on a few occasions. So not to say that it happens all the time. I mean, the conductors I work for and musical directors I work for have got that covered. So they'll have click tracks organised and things of that nature. So, but the other thing is to be again, be as relaxed as possible. Don't stress out. Although it can be a stressful situation, but that's why we have rehearsals for too, to nut out tempo changes and feels and things like that, and also the balance between the drum kit and an orchestra, which it's probably the natural enemy to a violin section. Something that can be so loud as compared to an orchestra, which you can drown them out with one snare drum hit. So and then gets back to playing with dynamics. We get back to that same topic again, and really being sympathetic to the music. And you may want to play. It's a rock piece, and you got to really dig in. But at the same token, if you dig in too much, you drown out the orchestra, and that's no fun for anyone. So, so the next time you're doing an orchestral gig or a big gig which involves a full-on rhythm section with strings and brass and a choir, just one eye on the MD or the conductor and one eye on your charts, and good luck.